Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Just Tamika. We are in the month of September. September is our National Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. In honor of that, I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health. All of us face challenges sometimes, and depending on the challenges that we face, our mental health can be greatly affected. We have life events that can affect our mental wellness in different ways. So whether you're experiencing a major life event or a less obvious stressor, you might experience things like sadness, anxiety, or feel off balance. But recognizing these feelings or stressful events can help know when it's time to reach out for support. You might think that the hard times you've been going through are just part of life, and you could be right. But if a few bad days stretch out and tend to come a lot more often than not, or even last more than 2 weeks, this could be a sign that you might want to reach out for help. Or if even your usual coping skills and strategies aren't helping, you might also want to consider reaching out for help. Some other signs that might indicate that you need support or even some professional help are things like feeling sad or hopeless over long stretches of time. Obviously, we all get sad or maybe feel frustrated or hopeless sometimes. But what I'm talking about is more where you can't remember the last time you were happy, or you can't remember the last time you weren't feeling anxious or worried or overwhelmed. These are things that might be affecting your ability to concentrate on your work or even at school. You may be experiencing wide changes in moods, or find yourself withdrawing or isolating from friends and activities. Things that you do for fun or that you enjoy don't bring you joy anymore. You might have trouble coping with daily problems or just daily stressors. You might find yourself drinking more or using drugs to try to self-medicate. You might be easily irritable, and I don't mean temporarily. When I say becoming easily irritable, everything's getting on your nerves and you just, are to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, you want to crawl out of your skin. You might be undergoing changes in eating or sleeping habits, so you might be eating less, not having an appetite, or you might be eating your feelings. You might be sleeping very little or find that you're just sleeping all the time. You have no energy. You might even feel like people are out to get you when there's no realistic basis for that. So if you have any of these concerns that affect your well-being, your quality of life, then getting support from friends or even professionals might help you get back on track. I really want you guys to hear me today because this is something that's important. We talk a lot in America about the importance of physical health, of eating right, of exercising. Those things are important. They're also important for your mental well-being. But we don't talk about the importance of taking care of your mental and emotional health. We pretend like it's a weakness and we don't understand why people can't just snap out of these things. But we need to understand that taking care of our full selves, we are mind, body, and spirit. And if any of those pieces lack, it can cause detriment to the other parts of you. So you kind of have to key into what's going on with you physically, emotionally, spiritually. What is going on? What are you doing to feed these different parts of yourself? What do you do when any of these areas are out of whack? These are things that are good to consider. If you are reaching out for help and maybe you're trying to get an appointment and you have a long waiting list or you can't get in quickly, maybe consider things like online therapy or speaking with someone at a mental health warm line or crisis hotline. These are tools that are underutilized and that have great value because we all need that support sometimes. We really do. And what do we do when, we feel like no one understands us or we feel like no one's around? There are options that we can turn to. Some of the resources that are available in California is the California Warm Line. You can call area code 855-845-7415. Now, this is a 24-hour non-emergency resource for anybody in California who's looking for support around mental and emotional support. It provides assistance via the phone, web, and chat on a non-discriminatory basis to anyone in need. That means that It doesn't matter about your insurance status. It doesn't matter about your legal status. They're just providing help. There's also the crisis text line. The crisis text line and the National Suicide Hotline have actually merged to one number. The new number is 988. The goal was to keep people from having to remember multiple numbers, and also to make the number shorter in an emergency or in a crisis. If you're distraught, you probably won't remember all of those digits. However, 988 is similar to 911 in that it's short, it's brief, and it's something that we'll all come to get to know. When you dial 988, you will get options. You can choose to press a certain number for Spanish. You may choose to press a certain number if you're a veteran, and then you'll be routed to someone who specializes in helping support our veterans. Otherwise, there's a number that you can press to get help in general. You may also text the word hello or help to the 988. That sparks a text-based conversation between you and a mental health professional to be able to get your support. In addition to those lines, we also have the teen line. The teen line is only from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., but you can call 1-800-852-8336 or text the word teen to 839-863. There is also the Trevor Lifeline, which is 866-488-7386. The Trevor Project is the leading national organization that provides 24-hour crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to the LGBTQ population. We also have available, maybe it's not something that, maybe it's not directly suicide, maybe it's not something along those lines, but maybe you are experiencing domestic violence. You may then call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 800-799-7233. And there's also the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 800-656-HOPE or 800-656-4673. That hotline has staff that are trained staff that are members of a sexual assault service provider and gets routed to your area. Also, if you realize or recognize that you have been sexually assaulted, please call 911 and notify law enforcement. If it's something that happened a while ago, there is also non-emergency phone numbers. The Poison Control Center number is the last one I'm going to give you, but that one is 1-800-222-1222. I am a mother and a grandmother, and really, have to realize how much you have to watch our little ones. They get into things so quickly. So I'd like for you to be able to play this message again, or rewind, or maybe even jot down these numbers and put them on your refrigerator. Put them somewhere that you can get to easily. But I do want to really stress the importance of that 988 number. That's a multi-purpose number. Actually, you can call that number for any of the, I don't believe that it has to be just a suicidal crisis, a suicide emergency. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're anxious, maybe you're having a panic attack, maybe you just need someone to listen, you should be able to call or text that number and be able to get support right away. And I really want you to realize that you don't have to go through the hard things in life alone. You shouldn't. We are designed to be connected to one another. We should be a web and a chain where if I'm feeling weak, my brother or my sister can hold me up, or I can lean on them just like they can lean on me if they're going through. These same numbers are useful if someone that you care about is maybe feeling stressed or overwhelmed, or you're concerned that they might be feeling suicidal. What happens when someone calls these numbers, you may wonder. Well, you know what? If someone calls these numbers, they get a person on the other end who kind of talks them through whatever it is they're going through. There's an ear to listen. It's not like it's going to be a full conversation. It's not like it's going to be, your business out in the street. These numbers keep and maintain your confidentiality. There are other options as well. If you are experiencing a psych emergency, you can also call 911. What a lot of people don't realize is that 911 emergency services can also respond to emotional and mental health crises. What may happen if you call 911 is they may choose to send an ambulance and a law enforcement officer there. The reason for the law enforcement is because if someone is a danger to themselves or danger to others due to mental or emotional crises, then they're able to put that person on a hold and transport them safely to the next point of assessment. You may have a crisis department or, part of mental health where people can go and be assessed. If you do that, you'll go and you'll talk to someone. They'll kind of assess the level of severity, what your needs are, and from there we'll make the call to either set you up with, a future appointment for more support, or if it rises to the level of needing to be placed on a hold, they can do that. What will likely happen following is that you'll probably be transported to your local hospital to be medically cleared, because the facilities that you will be housed in typically don't do medical clearance, and they need to know that people that are coming are not really sick with any illnesses, that they're able to be okay once they get there. So you would always deal with a medical emergency first and get someone stabilized medically, and then you deal with the emotional crises at hand. If it is a medical emergency, that could be something that's an underlying cause or exacerbator, at least, of the mental health crises. You may also choose to go to just your local emergency room. If you go that route, then of course you'll be seen and assessed by doctors and nurses, and they'll make sure that you're healthy physically. They will also have a mental health professional come in and assess you. Now that may be lengthy. It may take a really long time depending on availability. A lot of our mental health services across the board are, very short staffed. So someone may be on a hospital hold in a bed until somebody can come out and see them. Now, in California, we do not have a lot of facilities that accept our minors. So likely what will happen is that we'll also take more time to find an appropriate placement for the minor. The hard part is that the person may be sent somewhere far away. Parents can still travel and visit, but there are barriers. What if your parents don't have a vehicle? What if they don't have the necessary funds to gas up the car? Because let's be honest, gas is very expensive right now. Every concession to make it as comfortable as possible is made. I share this because I know that if you ever get into this situation, it helps to know what to expect. It helps to know this could happen or that could happen. Otherwise, you don't feel safe being honest. Because I'll be honest, if I thought that, if I was having a mental health crisis and I might undergo, a hold, I need to know what I can do. I need to know what to expect, because if not, what about my kids? I have pets. And the law says that people that put you on hold have to allow you some amount of concession to make arrangements that your pets and your children are taken care of, or that they're okay. You may need to make sure there's no water running, or you may have to have someone do that. So it just gets really complicated at that point. The main concern in the moment, though, is making sure that you are supported, that you are okay, and that you feel like, okay, I can focus on me now. So these are things that are meant to be tools. Is it a perfect system? No, it's not. But I'm sure that your loved ones would rather walk through this process with you and be there for you than to plan your funeral. I don't know another way to say it other than, if you need help, please reach out. Don't go through this alone. Call someone that you trust. Call someone that has your back. If you don't feel like you have anyone who understands you, then please call the 988 number, because you matter. Your mental health matters. And you deserve to feel loved. that is all I have to say on today. I know this one's been a little bit heavy, but I really had information that I want to get out there, that I want to share. I believe that, you guys deserve to have the tools necessary to be okay. Are we always in a space of feeling okay? No, we're not. But we're also not always in a space of not feeling okay. When it comes to our emotions, one thing to remember is emotions are fleeting. They don't last. They don't. They move on. The ones that tend to hang around are the ones that we have built stories around. And sometimes we need to take a look at those stories to find out what they are. Why are we holding on to this story? What purpose is it serving before we can begin to pull the thread that unravels that? That is why therapy is a great resource. It's a place where you can go and do that in a safe environment. So until next time, my loves, have a great day. Take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, as always, this is Just Tamika.